I was but a boy, a black boy, circling himself when the magnifying glass of my memory spotted a trail of fire ants laboring inside me from loin to heart to mouth. Needless to say, the mere utterance of family set my tongue aflame. There weren't many options for a black boy with a mouthful of ash, so I began writing. I write until right in the night became my right and my right alone. I write eyes wide shut and face the day. I face the day and write until the swirling corona of the sun thickens and my shadow is replaced by a murder of black crows. Not to sound too linear, but this is my history. And given my history, I'm unable to take serious any black man with any kind of writing utensil in hand until, seeing prophecy as description, he splits open his first darkness and riddles enough light into a box for the first black boy he sees unknowingly in need. Now, at the risk of romanticizing redemption, I have two children who are not black boys, but they do have hearts, and the heart, if kept true, grows to be emblematic of encounter. And I hope the hearts of my children grow bright warm, and they see a bit of me in the few black boys they encounter somewhere down the road that empties out into an ocean. And oceans are the Volta, you see, because one time, after realizing the sky is blue like the ocean, which is blue like the sky, I saw my escape and pressed my pen to the rushing current between prayer and mercy. I pressed my pen to the crescent wave between black ink and black skin. Heavy with faith, I walk the water because I cannot swim. Each step, an exodus parting. I walk the water down certain there is more. Besieged by longing, I walk the water down to the sweetest trap door in the deepest trench of the deepest floor. The beauty of the black male body fashioning its own freedom so close to earth's core. The beauty of a black man between ocean and thirst, fashioning both exit and entry through a single door. To understand how I got here, you first have to understand how, for the black male body, the easy part is entering and exiting enough dreams, mouth open, speaking whatever language some non-black body allows it. The hard part is that this is actually something the black male body itself allows. Its mouth is a storied mouth, and if language is our only means of categorizing experience, this storied mouth is obviously not housed by an ordinary body. Flesh thought inside out, wounds lit clean, overlooked by what's overseen, the black male body is an extraordinary touring machine, with a lucid hammer for an heart meant to actually soften the blow. The black male body is heroic enough to save itself, and black enough to feel that all of it is indeed worth saving. However, with all of the weight the black male body is forced to carry in a single word, the black male body may be too black to save anything white. It is what it is. History did what it did. When facing white folk, the black male body is either too much camouflage or emperor's new clothes. I'm just saying. The water is one thing, but the bridge is another. I'm as black and male can appear. The Bible said blackness was the beginning, and I'm still here. I want to believe that someone in my own skin is here with me. This would mean that not everything beautiful was taken, just abandoned. Maybe I've covered enough ground to catalog what has been found. I'm talking generations of the black male body cutting off parts of itself destined for destruction, and white folks having yet to fashion them into anything useful. I'm just saying, I want my shit back. For real, I'm gonna need all of that. Judith Butler, a white woman by the way, calls this taking an account of oneself. I try to account for the good white folk in my life and remain absolute and unmoved. I try to account for the white folk wanting to destroy me and remain absolute and unmoved. Yes, white folk wanting to destroy the black male body. White folk have destroyed the black male body. Frantz Fanon, a black man by the way, speaks to white folk having created the black male body for the sole purpose of destroying the black male body, and who would I be if I did not agree? Hence the proverb and psalm of the black male body disjointed, crossing over, and the black male body that crosses back. the black male body disassembled, crossing over, and the black male body that crosses back. The black male body dismembered, crossing over, and the black male body that crosses back. For me and mine is at least sevenfold, no less than 7 generations of push and pull in a land reckless and rancid with rationale, and here I am, John Gavin White. Ironic, huh? There is another version of the gospel where the distinction between cross and crucifix is made explicit. One is merely a symbol unable to accommodate the human body, while the other is a device created solely for human torture. I grip my pen with intent on fashioning the page out of the latter. I find my place. There is blood. I am hung with a misted head. 2 pre-adolescent daughters at my feet. I keep my eyes closed long enough for their mother to explain my body's first tremor, my holy trinity of a moral compass. I open my eyes and bear witness to their circumference. My flesh is weak, but deliberate. I once wrote to recognize the lives of my sweet daughters spawned in hopes of redemption. I now know the selfishness of such an act, and thus must fight my own collapse. I now write to free my children of me. The gentle miracle of a black man, capable of pronouncing each demon and obstruction by name. A black man allowed to rage and weep on both sides of the grave. The resurrection that follows him selling his own blood willingly. The empty rendered full when extending his breath is made a prerequisite to the most sable of sanctuary. The fullness of a black man who knows where he belongs and stays there. My daughters have to witness the page crucify me, so I can ponder new tongue and warm soil, come back and stay here, the God in me having done the same. Deicide, committing on the old for a new name. Heaven, accompanied by new sky. Hell, accompanied by new flame. Now, between you and me, and by between you and me I mean between the I and thou, between black and male, I've never actually seen a grave. The gospel of my knotted brown has always been misunderstood between sand and dirt, or rather dirt and sand. Either way, I speak to you with pen in hand, which is to say, do with my body what you will. Just leave the language of my face open-ended, which is to say, leave the face of this black man, just like what that white man, Emmanuel of Venice, spoke of as godly. I say that to say not all, but most black men understood Donald Williams when he said he stayed in his body. Brother, sister, fortunately, unfortunately, there is nothing left to nurture outside of me. Not all the way free, but free enough to at least explain how I got here. Besides, this poem is already entangled in a violence, long entangled in despair, and did you see what I did just there? A black man, a consequential to everything except lineage, whirling himself ravenous. Genesis of a tempest unfurled through rhyme. This thing of darkness I acknowledge mine. Can you fault me for my desire, to be desired by all desirable both in and outside of time? Outside of time? Yes. My grandfather clock of a pen is unseen by the bluest eye, cloaked by the black and mail of an inevitable Calvary. Let me be clear. Albeit I shudder, there's no shame. Every month of a Roman year carries a crucifixion, and every crucifixion carries with it a name. Now do I got to holler some of their names? Mourn with me, until our mourning trembles out a celebration, and the mute study of the black man, here, in this land, is on hand for all to proclaim. George Floyd, Saeed Joaquin, Yasin Muhammad, Tyrell Flex Flincher, Kwame Jones, Tyree Davis, Philip Jackson, Michael J. Rivera, Darius J. Tarver, Ryan Sims, Virgil Thorpe, Desmond Franklin, Dion Johnson, Maurice S. Gordon, Lewis Ruffin Jr., Vincent Harris, Calvin D. Shaw, Robert Johnson Jr., Henry Isaac Jones, Elmer L. Mack, William Dion Tolbert Simpkins, Zachary Anderson, DeMontre Bruner, Tony McDade, Aaron T. Booker, Alvin Cole, Samuel David Mallard, Jeremy Grayson, Leonard Charles Parker Jr., Claude Washington III, Gavon Webb, Jonathan Lee Webb, Kelvin White, Kamal Kobe Edwards, Brandon Gardner, Joshua James Brown, Bobby Joe Gibbs, Jarvis Sullivan, Donnie Sanders, Derek Thompson, Rashid Matthew Moorman, Goldie Bellinger, Alvin Lamont Baum II, Mikael Rose, Keith Dupree Collins, Kane Van Pelt, Keenan McCain, Anthony Taylor, Stephen DeMarco Taylor, Joseph C. Jewell III, Michael Thomas, David McCarty, and many more. Many, many, many more. The knotted brown of their divinity astounds. A phallic thrust into Calvary's mound, which is not to say, fuck every bit of earth that swallowed them black boys, black men whole, but rather, resurrection is a language most often giving, when lodged in the animalistic blue-black of throats, yet electric when made to leap, melanated, off the human tongue.